Hey, Curt Hennig fans. Hello and welcome to another episode of Curt Hennig Was the Best, Changed My Mind. I'm your host, Steph. This is episode 27. Today on our Perfect Podcast, we're going to watch along to Curt's match with Bret Hart at SummerSlam 1991. I said this was coming up. This was a great match, even though Curt's back was out. He gave Bret Hart a perfect match, even though he lost the match and the IC belt. We have reached another milestone of 600 subs. So I have another question that was asked, which was from username Don Johnson. He asked if Curt ever talked about any regrets he might have had as a parent. This was a perfect question. I will answer in the next segment. But before we start, please join me on my YouTube and Rumble channels where if you like what you hear, you can subscribe, comment, like, and share so we can grow these channels. The links for both will be in the description field below this video. I have a new theme song. Of course, because of copyright reasons, I will only be able to show it at the beginning of my episodes on Rumble. So to see this special Rumble exclusive only, check out my link for my Rumble channel in the description field below this video. Please check it out today. I would like to give a shout out and a thank you to my paid patron supporter Charlie Brown Politics. Thank you, Charlie Brown, for your support. If you too would like to support my channel for as low as $1 a month, please click the link in the description field below this video to become a paid patron supporter. You will also get your name read on the show. For $3 a month, you get your name read on the show, and you get to ask me a question which I will read and answer. For $5 a month, you get all this plus an exclusive behind the scenes of how I do my show and also blooper reel, because trust me guys, I screw up a lot. For $10, you get all this plus access to a live patron show where you can learn more about me. So please click the link in the description field below this video to sign up today. We have reached our next milestone. We have reached 600 subscribers on YouTube. Please help me to reach my next milestone and get 700 subscribers. Please also help me to reach 100 followers on Rumble. All links will be in the description field below these videos. You can now follow me on Locals for free. If you would like to support the show, you can for just $2 a month on Locals. Thank you for your support. Okay guys, we're back. Like I said, this is a big one. I said we were going to do this, though this match is sort of hard for me to watch because, like I said, I know that Mr. Perfect had hurt his back really bad. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to answer the question, talk a little bit about the match, and then we're going to do the match, the watch along, and then I'm going to add what Curt said about Bret and what Bret said about Curt. So you get a little bit of a bonus here. You get to hear the two stars talk about each other. Plus the match that made both of them famous, I would say. I don't know why this was such a big thing other than, Bret Curt loses the Intercontinental Championship belt. And then at the end, thanks to Curt's suggestion that, Bret Hart pull his singlet off. And he was wearing underwear underneath, unlike certain other people who needed to wear underwear and didn't. I'm looking at you, Rick Rude. No offense, but I wouldn't mind if Curt was, all natural. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about, first I'm going to answer the question, did Curt have any regrets, about, being a parent? Because Don Johnson said he was a father of 4. I am a mother of 1, so I can speak from experience that, and I'm sure Curt would say this too, wherever he is, most of us parents, we just kind of wish that we could spend more time with our kids. And I know that Curt, wherever he is, wishes he could have spent more time with his children and his grandchildren. Because, the wrestling business can be very hectic on a family because you're not always there. You get to see your kids, Sean Mooney was saying maybe once a month. So it is very brutal for a lot of the wrestlers to, be there for their kids and their family. Sean said something to the effect of he's talked to some of the wrestlers' children and they wish their father or mother was hurt so they could spend more time with them. They could be home and spending more time. And like I said, the wrestling business was very brutal for these guys. They had, basically they only had off on certain times. And mostly it was like a 6-day week. They were flying everywhere, then they had to find a gym, then they had to find they had to find the hotel where they were going to stay, and then find a gym, and they had to eat in between there. So, they had to stay for the show, and then they had to go on the road again. So, it was very brutal for these guys, and I know a lot of their kids probably wish that they were kind of injured so that I could see that perspective. Although you don't want your dad hurt, you don't want him injured or anything, so I can see that too. Because if he's injured too much, he wouldn't be able to play with you. So I can see it from that perspective, but I think that Curt would say he just wishes he could spend more time with his children. And he never missed, a birth of a child, when he was alive. He had 4 children and he never missed any of their births. And that's pretty cool. That's as a wrestler, wrestling schedules can be really hectic. And for, the fact that he never missed any of his children's birth is awesome. I mean, that's a real awesome dad that you can, be there. And, as a mother myself, working 2 jobs, even though, the one job is a podcast, it's still very time consuming and I sort of have to wait till my son goes to bed. But I want to spend as much time with him as I can, but usually, as you guys found out on Angels and my first episode of Pro Wrestling Talk, I do work in a computer place where I tear computers apart all day, and my schedule is, I'm working as many hours as I can every 2 weeks, and that's time I wish I could be spending with my son. And yeah, he goes to school, no doubt about that, but and I miss him. I miss him when he's at school. And I think Curt being a parent of 4, I think he would say that he thought about his kids all the time. 'Cause as a parent, you do that. As a mom, I think about my son while I'm at, both jobs. Right now, I'm thinking of my son and he's asleep. 'Cause he has to get up for school tomorrow, right? So, I mean, and like I said, I miss him at school sometimes, not sometimes, but like every once in a while. I'll email his teacher and just say, would you mind telling my son that I love him and maybe giving him a little bit of a hug, 'cause my son is kind of on the spectrum. So, to hear that reassurance from a parent, even when he's at school, I think that, when the teacher says, oh, your mommy emailed me and told me to tell you that she loves you very much. It's something I just find myself, at work, even if I'm tearing a computer apart, I'm still thinking of what I'm doing and focusing on the computer that I'm working on, but I'm also thinking of my son and I wish I could be with him. And that's why I send the email. Which, like I said, I'm sure Curt thought about his kids all the time, and I'm sure he called his kids all the time. When you're out on the road, or unfortunately, Curt was in a time of where we didn't have FaceTime, we didn't have video. I use Meet sometimes, Google Meet, 'cause I can just press a button on my phone and literally I can watch my son get off the bus, and I can kind of say, hi, honey, if I can't be home when he gets off the bus. So there's some times where I will close down the computer shop, and unfortunately I have to be there instead of with him. So if I'm kind of on a break or whatever, I can just kind of push a button and watch him get off the bus and say, "How was school, honey? I love you." Unfortunately, back in Curt's day, you really couldn't do that. I wish you could. I mean, back in that day, I'm sure Curt would have jumped at the chance to video chat with his kids as much as possible, like maybe 3-4 times a day at that point. Because there's really there was no real communication. The internet was still kind of in its infancy, till the mid 90s, but then a lot of his kids by then were adults. So, or they were like teenagers ready to be adults. I mean, by the time we had video chatting on phones, I mean, his kids now have children of their own. But I think it's something that Curt would really enjoy, because it's something that we all would enjoy, doing as parents. And like I said, we're just in that era where we can actually talk to our kids and see our kids when they get off the bus, from school and stuff. I think this is, something that was direly needed in the 80s and the 90s. It's just too bad that it didn't come around till around now. Like I said, I'm sure all those wrestlers would have jumped at a chance to video chat with their kids every day. Something that they never got to do, because they had to go to a payphone or a hotel phone, and they had to spend the extra money to call home, which usually was a long distance call for many of them. And, I know Adrian Adonis in his Dark Side of the Ring, they were talking about how he would call his wife 3 or 4 times a day, and his girls too. So, I mean, that's a wonderful man. And I'm sure Curt did the same thing. I'm sure he called home to talk to his kids more than once. So as a parent myself, I could I'm not speaking for Curt. I'm sure there was many things he regretted, as a parent, but I think the main point would be that he probably would want to spend more time with his kids. If he could, if he could go back and do it again, I'm sure it would be, he wants to spend more time with his kids. And, if he was still with us, with his grandkids, I think he would really enjoy his grandkids. So, great question. That really tears at your heartstrings to know that, these wrestlers are not only humans, but they're also moms and dads, and they have children at home who I'm sure miss them terribly. Now, we are in the age, like I said, where they could probably video chat with them, before and after their matches, if they even wrestle anymore. Modern wrestling to me is just not wrestling. You might as well just take the wrestling out of it and just call it a talking show or something. But, they have about 3-hour show with an hour of wrestling. So, I'm not going to complain, but I'm sure a lot of those wrestlers, like I said, are parents, and they do call home or they video chat home with their kids probably more often than we think. And like I said, in the 80s and 90s, unfortunately, that technology was not available. So I think for Curt, if he could find a payphone, I think he would jump at the opportunity to call home and talk to his kids. And I think that was probably, it's every parent's, regret that we don't get to spend more time with our children. I know definitely that's on the top of my list. All right. So, but thank you for the question. It was an awesome question. But thank you so much for, asking it. And now we're going to talk about SummerSlam 1991. Now this, had been building up for a while now. It definitely had been, coming up to the point of, this was bound to happen. They had already asked Curt if he would drop the belt to Bret Hart, because Curt, let's face it, had hurt his back. And unfortunately, Curt makes a joke about it, like, oh, I couldn't even finish my 3rd beer or whatever. So Curt kind of plays it off as, oh, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. But he was hurt. And Bret has confirmed in many documentaries and in his book that Curt was having back spasms during this match. So I will warn you guys that when I do watch this match, it will be a hard one to watch because I'll be going, oh boy. Because we know of Curt hurting his back. And from what I've seen, it's called The Last Days of Curt Hennig. I forget the person who does it, but I watched it. And he forgot to grab the turnbuckle, and that's how he hurt his back. The turnbuckle went right into his back because he missed the I guess they catch the ropes when they go into the turnbuckle. So they don't hit the turnbuckle so hard. But there's something I watched. You know how Bret would take a turnbuckle in the front? Well, Curt did the same thing. I'm just watching it going, ooh, how do you guys do that without hurting yourselves? I mean, the chest, I'm guessing, was a little bit more sturdy, but still, ouch. And Curt just flops all the way back, and then Bret grabs his hair, like, Curt's on his knees after he kind of flips backwards on his knees, and just kind of like, he sells like he's stunned, you know, like it hurt him really bad, and like he's not even like all there. I mean, you would be if you took a major hit like that. So I don't even know what match that was from. I don't think that was the one from November, but it might have been a dark match between the two. I tried to get the link off of X. Unfortunately, the guy didn't give it to me. So, cause when I saw that, I was like, ooh, ow, that had to hurt. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. You'd have to ask Curt on that one. So, this was a great match. Like I said, you know, Jim Cornette talked about this and said, you know, Bobby Eaton had called him to his house and said, you have to watch this. These guys are great. And he was talking about Curt and Bret Hart. And, I mean, everybody remembers this match. If you know anything about wrestling and in the who's who of wrestling, SummerSlam 91, when Bret won the belt and, you know, Mr. Perfect couldn't wrestle anymore, unfortunately because he hurt his back. Everyone remembers this match because Stu and Helen Hart were also in attendance. Bret says in his book that Julie was shopping. So his ex-wife was shopping. Kind of heartbreaking because, you know, as a wife, if it were me, not that I want to be married to Bret Hart, Bret's happily married to his second wife, and that's good. You know, I'm glad he's very happy. But like, for example, let's say I was married to Curt, I don't think I would go shopping. I would be standing there going, yeah, let's go, you know. I'd be doing the kayfabe thing, but at least I would be in attendance, and I don't think I'd go shopping. I definitely would be with my man, okay? I would be with him and support him through his career. I think that's what a good wife would do. So, I'm going to get everything together, guys, and I will catch you on the flip side. Okay, guys, and we're back. So if you go to your Peacock, and SummerSlam 1991 is Season 4, Episode 1. I'm 16 minutes in and 11 seconds, so 16:11. I'm going to keep it turned down here for just a minute because I think there's still music playing, but as soon as they go to Curt's promo, because they do a Mr. Perfect promo right before they do the match. I don't think they do a Bret Hart one. So I'm just going to keep it turned down just in case there's any copyrighted music. So if you could hit play now and up.
Greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. History will be made tonight. Excellence of execution versus perfection. Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect. Well, Bret the Hitman Hart, the Intercontinental belt says Wrestling Champion on it. And for you to be a champion, you have to be perfect. You are excellent, but you're not perfect. There's only one Mr. Perfect, and you're looking at him. Coming up, a battle for the Intercontinental title. Let's go back to ringside.
Ugh. All right, I'm going to turn this down because they are going to play music here. So unfortunately, and this is when Curt had music. Bret also had music, so they were heavily into that music. Unfortunately, It's copyrighted, so we're definitely going to keep it down for now. You guys can keep yours up because you're not doing a show like I am. So this is Bret getting in the ring. And the commentators are Piper, Bobby Heenan, and Gorilla Monsoon. So, there's Helen and Stu Hart. Of course, they had to show the parents. I don't know if they had, I don't even know if Larry Hennig was even asked to this. It would be kind of cool if Larry Hennig showed up, wouldn't it? Alright, so here comes Mr. Perfect, of course. And like I said, I'm going to be oohing and ahhing, guys, because, I mean, Curt's back was really bothering him, so not knowing that, you would probably think, oh yeah, great match. And it was a great match, even though Curt was, you know, kind of having back spasm at the time. He still gave his all. He gave 110%. Even though he had back spasms during this. So the oohing and awing is just, oh man, I can't believe he did that, you know, with his back still hurting. You know, when he jumps in the ring there, he just jumped in the ring. It's like, oh gosh, watch the back, please. Okay, I think while his music is playing, Bret gives the kid his glasses. There's the one happy little boy right there. And he shows Bret the belts. Okay. Alright, here we go, guys. Watch the back. And Curt's hair is a little shorter. Has anyone noticed that Curt got like a little bit of a haircut there? Really? You're gonna crack your neck? Oh. Watch the back, please. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry guys, I haven't watched this in a while. I mean, I do remember this match, it's just, ugh. Watch the back. I know Bret takes really good care of Curt. I can't. Watching this match is just me. Oh God, watch the back, please. Oh, come on, Bret. Brain picking on Piper.
No, he didn't. He used the hair. Well, he was only returning the favor.
Yeah, because Curt's pulling his.
One goose is good for the can. One hand watches the other. Of course you wouldn't know about that, Bruce. You can't pull Bret Hart's hair. Why?
Too much oil. Yeah, Bret, a little easy on the oil, please. Come on, Bret. You know I'm just kidding. What's surprising is you can't even tell that that his back is having spasms. Bret, go easy on the back, please.
That's your opponent. What's going on inside that squared circle?
That's the mark of a winner.
Start worrying about somebody on the outside like you used to be, and forget about it.
Hey, at least he didn't have that Austin thing. Like, if you put the letter S in front of Hitman, you have my exact opinion of Bret Hart. I'm sure when Curt heard that, he's like, oh, why didn't I think of that?
Juggling for position, trying to wear the other guy out with a hook.
Oh, gosh. Good golly, Miss Molly. That's why I'm glad I never ever took one of them shots from Curt.
Irish whip in on, Hitman caught the lane.
Bret, go easy on the back, please. Curt, why did you do that? He put his hands over this. Okay. The fun part. like Bret was going to kick him there. Oh. Couldn't. Oh. That didn't make any sense, Piper. Oh. Watch the back, please. Yeah, you can tell Curt had a little bit of a haircut. Not the back. Go ahead, take it all off, Bret. Rip the other side. And he does, too, at the end of this match. Curt's like, oh my gosh. I wish Larry Hennig was on the other side. And what, Mr. Perfect is chopped liver? No, be quiet. We all love Curt Hennig. Mr. Perfect. Goal! Oh, come on. Oh, Curt, be careful, please. Watch it. Oh, no thanks. I bet they were laughing in the ring, though. You'll hear that from Bret Hart, of course. I wish he had, and I wish his back was, not bothering him. Oh. I love Piper. He's so funny. Oh, Bret takes a good bump here. And this is kind of like when we go over the King of the Ring match with Bret, which I think is coming up soon. If not, we'll probably do that as soon as I can. He kind of takes a similar bump in 93. Of course, that was a babyface versus babyface match. This is a heel versus babyface match. Oh. At least you didn't throw him into the turnbuckle. Watch the back. him out the back.
Now I'll talk. Perfect. He knew that is a mark of a champion. He never lost one. You're stuttering. You're not nervous for Perfect, are you? Well,
Of course. We don't want Curt to get hurt. No, I didn't put any money on him. I just don't. I mean, he's my hero. I don't want him to get hurt. Oh, boy. I'm so glad I don't have to feel that. I love Curt, but yeah, no. Ouch. Oh, okay. You take the turnbuckle, Bret. Like I said, I owe a lot to Bret for taking care of Curt when he was injured like this. Oh, this looks like fun, but watch the back.
This is the beginning of the end for the Hitman. Could be true. Perfect's in command. I know that look. I know the way he operates. He's toying with him right
He's wearing black underwear. I love it. Woohoo! 4. Be careful. Yeah, they gave this 4 stars. No, you give this 5 stars. These two, they work their behinds off. Nothing wrong with helping. Bobby managed Curt for a couple years. Please don't go up there. Ay, ay, ay. Boy. Whoa. Oh. Be careful. Watch the back. Oh. Ah, Curt. Watch it. I'm surprised the ref didn't disqualify him. Go ahead, touch him. But that wasn't how the ending was supposed to go. He's Mr. Perfect! Hello? I don't know if he should be taking these liberties. He's Mr. Perfect. They're sitting there like, ugh, I'm doing the same thing. Only on the other side. I don't remember if Curt took a turnbuckle or not. I don't remember that. Oh. Sleeper. Jeez, Bobby. That one guy looked like Eric Bischoff sitting there. Weird. I mean, I'm not saying that Larry the Axe shouldn't have been there. I mean, I think it would be kind of awesome to have Stu on one side and then Larry on the other. Oh, watch the back. Nonchalant cover. Be quiet, Piper. Ah. No thanks. Oh. There's that turnbuckle. Apparently Curt took one in 89, but I don't know if it was a dark match or what it was. Okay, but be careful. Your back is hurt. Mm. He lets him kick out. Yeah, people have kicked out of it. Too bad Larry the Axe wasn't there. Maybe he was, he just wasn't broadcasted. Oh, watch the back, Bret. Oh, not this. Oh. I told you this is a bad match for me to watch, guys. Because I do know that Curt had messed up his back. No. No. Mm. Oh boy, this is a really tough match to watch. Not the bat breaker. Oh. Mm. Should have hooked the leg, Bret. Not the back. Oh, not that move. Mm. Really? Let's go, perfect. Curt, watch the back. This is where he blocks it and turns it into a sharpshooter. I'm going to turn it down because it does have music here. This is just literally like they turn the music on and they give the belt to Bret. This was a very hard match to watch, especially because, when I watched it before, no one knew that Mr. Perfect's back was hurt. Oh, hello. Yes, please, Bret. Thank you very much. Whoops, it won't come off. Kurt's like, gosh darn it, it's stuck. And I want everyone to know that, as they award Bret here, make him the winner and stuff, there was a interview with Bret, and he said that it was Kurt's idea for him to pull off the singlet as, it was like a trophy. It was like a trophy for him to win, that was Kurt's idea. So when he pulls off the singlet, that was all Kurt's idea. Oh boy, that was a really big, hard one to watch. So they're celebrating. I'm sure Kurt's already in the back. He kind of hugs his mom and dad here. So, we're going to go ahead and pause it. And I don't think they talk to Curt at all for the rest of this. This is pretty much... I love the Mountie and the Big Boss Man. That's funny. Well, they talk to Bret. Let's see what this is. Well, they're talking to DiBiase right now. I'm at 128.11. So, it's DiBiase and Sherry complaining. Here, let's see this.
Joining me, the new Intercontinental Champion, Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret, it has a great sound. It doesn't get any...
This is all for you Bret Hart fans.
Greatest day for the Hitman. I've waited a long time to prove to Mr. Perfect that there's no such thing as perfect. And he got to find out the hard way what the excellence of execution is all about. Mr. Perfect, you just weren't good enough. You're looking at...
He was perfect, Bret.
Intercontinental Champion.
Let's go over to Mean Gene Okerlund.
Alright, pause. Everybody pause. Okay, so you should be at 128.49. What to say about this? We're gonna do that in the next segment, so, I just wanted to get that Bret Hart interview, or promo, after he wins the belt. And that was for all my Bret Hart fans. There you go. I wasn't really much for Bret Hart, but anyway, I'll put everything away and catch you guys on the flip side. Okay, guys, and we're back. So, like I said, this was a very hard match for me to watch again. What can you say about this other than it was a great match, even though Curt had hurt his back. He still gave 110%. He gave the fans exactly what they wanted, which was Bret Hart winning in the end. So I think in the grand scheme of things, because he would not be seen again on wrestling till, he becomes the glorified manager of Ric Flair, the executive consultant for Ric Flair, I think it's just, it was a great match. Like I said, even though he was injured, he still gave 110%. And like I said, I put that promo in there for, all the Bret Hart fans out there. But, I also have some special stuff from Bret and Curt on how they felt about each other. And, I will be doing that, towards the end. So I'm going to do this part. And then, I'm just going to end with the bonus content of what Bret thought about Curt and what Curt thought about Bret. So, this is the end of this, guys. What can you say? This was an awesome match. It got 4 stars from David Meltzer, but I think it should have had 5 stars because, even though he was injured, Curt still gave his all. He still gave 110%. On a scale 1 to 10, I'd say this is a 12 because even though he was injured, Bret took good care of him. Which is the main reason why I think Curt, admired Bret and his work. And I think Bret admired Curt for his work too. I really wish that, they would have showed not only Bret Hart, his parents, but I really wish they would have shown, Larry the Axe and Renee. Curt's parents. I just think it would add to it, but I think, because Bret was winning the belt, they probably didn't want Curt's side of it. Usually, if a heel is going to win the belt, it's no big thing, you know, or if he's going to keep the belt, it's no big thing. But, I just think that it would have been more interesting if, they had both Larry the Axe and Stu Hart there. I think it would have been a nice ending to it. You know, both sets of parents there. I think that would have been really cool. But like I said, this would be the last time we see Mr. Perfect until 92. I'm sorry, at the end of 91 when he becomes Ric Flair's glorified manager. And then we would see him commentate on Superstars and also on, Primetime Wrestling with, McMahon and Bobby Heenan. And then, eventually, which we've already done, is, Curt's babyface turn in 92, right before Survivor Series. And this match, like I said, is talked about still today because, you know, both competitors were great athletes. Mr. Perfect was perfect. And of course, Bret Hart was the excellence of execution. Both technical wrestlers, both scientific wrestlers, or what they would call scientific wrestlers in the day. These guys had it all. And they put on a great show. Like I said, that's why it got 4 stars. I think it should have been 5. Because they both worked their behinds off, like I said in, you know, the previous segment. These guys had it all. They had all the right things at the right time. I do think that if Curt had not injured his back, I do think that they could have had a good feud. And I'm not talking like on and off again kind of feud in the 1989. I'm talking like they could have had a feud throughout 91, and then when, you know, Curt came back as like a baby face, they could have turned Bret heel, and I think it would have been cool to have a heel versus baby face, you know, Curt versus Bret, although Bret was the heel and Curt was the baby face, at King of the Ring 93, have Curt win it, and then get the heavyweight belt. That of course didn't happen, because Mr. Perfect did injure his back, but I think in the grand scheme of things, this match was above and beyond, and every fan, like I said, can remember it because it is a well-fought match between both. And I like the fact that Curt kind of cut his hair. He had a haircut. He looks adorable no matter how long his hair is. But I think when he came back in 93, I think he was like, well, I'm going to let my hair grow out again. Or 92, I should say, in Survivor Series 92. So I hope you enjoyed that. I used to enjoy that match, but watching it again, I'm like, oh gosh. It's a hard one to watch, especially when you know, Curt is injured, so it's like, ooh, I don't want to look. And I think that's why Curt didn't take any turnbuckles, because he didn't want to chance it that he may re-injure the back or hurt his back even worse. So I think he took very minimal turnbuckles. There was that where he throws him, and he threw him in the match that we saw on Primetime. He throws him into the turnbuckle, and then Curt's supposed to catch the turnbuckle, or he throws him into the pole. You know, he slides into the pole. And it's supposed to look like he hurt himself real bad in the fun area. I think, that was just to get more sympathy for Bret Hart and to get more heat for Curt. That's not a fun thing to watch, cause I'm like, if he ever missed, ooh, that fun time could have a really bad day. That fun place could have a really bad day. But Curt was a professional. You know, he loved to entertain people, And this match was no different. So I definitely think that, you know, in the end, he fought a hard match the way Mr. Perfect always does, because he's a professional. And Curt was second generation, Bret was second generation. That's what made this great, is they both were technical wrestlers. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew the business. And so with that said, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did putting it together. Like I said, it was a little bit of a hard match to watch. But, I think in the end, they got their point across. And we eventually will see Curt again, before SummerSlam, or before Survivor Series 92, when he turns babyface with Savage. So that's it for me, but, if you could just stay till the end, because like I said, after I'm done talking here, I'm actually going to have both, Curt's, interview about Bret, and then, Bret's interview about Curt. It's kind of my, little, you know, bonus round. So, continue listening to the end, and you will hear, both Bret and Curt talk about the other, and, you know, how they felt about in that ring. I know Curt really, you know, praises Bret up and down. Bret praises Curt up and down. So, I mean, it's really, it's good to hear that two professionals really, admired each other's wrestling and admired each other, because they were friends who hung out. So, that's it for me, guys. So, nobody beats Mr. Perfect. Nobody.
I love this. You asked me if I could pick one guy to wrestle. Like I had to go in right now and wrestle him. Every night, every time. He was, I said it in my book. I said it was like spy versus spy. There's like Mad Magazine, you know, two spies. We were just like that. We were always such great chemistry and a lot of humor. We always had a few laughs every night in the ring that people were never aware of. He was always a lot of fun. I can remember lots of times doing all kinds of things like drop kicks and clotheslines, and I'd be laughing my head off, trying not to show that I was ready to fall over laughing. He was always a funny guy.
In your 15-year career, what are some of your more memorable matches that stick out to you?
I'll have to definitely say Bret Hart.
Right.
I mean, I had some great matches with Scott Hall, Bret Hart. Bret Hart's probably the standout. Of course, Hogan, you can't leave him off the thing, or Flair.
Right.
And one guy never got to wrestle with Macho Man, but I'll tell you, out of all the matches, I'd have to say my best match would probably be with Bret Hart. I think pretty much same chemistry, same age almost, and same background, and the same thinking way in the business, you know?
Right, right. Even 5-6 years later, people still talk about those matches.
Yeah, man. And I went into that match when I lost that Intercontinental belt to him. I was already done for 2 months. My back was so bad I couldn't even hardly drink my third beer.
Right.
So, but I went out and did it, and so I have a good thing with Bret Hart forever.
Yeah.
In fact, somebody told me he put my name in a little quote for me in his book.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Bret thinks very highly of you from what I could see.
He wanted to charge me to get one of them. I don't get it.
It's the way of the business.
I'm just kidding.